Welcome to General Fury. As far as our opening hand, but yeah, we'll keep on this one. I like it. Some good stuff. We got Ride Down, we got Path to Exile, we have Foreign Lands, and we do have Monastery Mentor, which will allow us to get some non-creature monk tokens on the battlefield. I think that sounds like a wonderful plan. Let's go and lead off with Rustvale Bridge. I think that sounds. We could go Alpine Meadow. Let's go for the bridge. All right. Anything else? Let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yes, welcome to General Fury. I hope you're excited to get some Golem tokens on the battlefield in that Boros army and channel our inner PJ from Commander Replay. See what it's like to play Boros all the time. So we have nothing for 2 that we can go for. Yeah, I think we'll just end up going Alpine Meadow. There we go. I have that coming to play tapped and then pass it over to our opponent. We're playing General Fury. Hexproof from monocolored. Yeah, hexproof from monocolored. Then, whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 4/4 red and white Golem artifact creature token. And I promise you, I have read this card before. Dorothy was my production assistant. Dorothy, my cat, she was walking underneath my chair, and I didn't want to hit her. So there we go. All right, so we got Birds of Paradise down. That's Sylvan Scrying. I still think we just end up going for General Fury. I mean, we don't have anything that's going to get us a lot of tokens on the battlefield, or do we end up going for a Monastery Mentor? If we're playing against 5-color good stuff, and we do have spot removal from our opponent, I would like for them to actually use the spot removal on General Fury instead of Monastery Mentor, because with General Fury out there, we're only going to get some value from something like Ride Down. With Monastery Mentor, as we get in artifacts, enchantments, anything that is just basically a non-creature spell, we're going to get some value from that. So we're going to see kind of, if they've got spot removal, they'll use it probably on General Fury. If not, then it looks like the coast might be clear. So and we do have Radiant Scroll Wielder. Look at that art, too. Oh, that is beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and drop in Sacred Foundry. With Prismatic Vista, enters the battlefield untapped. So actually, we'll end up doing that. So let's go Prismatic Vista. Let's crack Prismatic Vista. Let's grab ourselves a Snow-Covered Plains. I think that'll work out. And with the Radiant Scroll Wielder, yeah, I like this. Because we have no instant or sorceries, and we can go Path to Exile. We need to set it up with a Monastery Mentor, but I'd like to get a Golem token going. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So let's drop in Radiant Scroll Wielder, and let's get a Golem on the battlefield. We are sitting at a 3/1, which we can definitely swing in at Birds of Paradise, so we're going to get that going. So let's get General Fury swinging in for 3. That's going to drop our opponent down to 35, and that'll be 3 total commander damage. And then that'll be it. Pass the turn. Playing gets Garth, One-Eyed? One Eye. Tap. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, Black Lotus. Create a copy of the card with the chosen name. You may cast the copy. So that is interesting to see what's going on. All right, so we have nothing for Radiant Scroll Wielder, and we run into Chrome Mox. So yeah, let's do some setting up this turn. So let's go ahead and go Sacred Foundry. We're going to go ahead and pay 2 on this one. Let's go for Monastery Mentor, because we're going to get some value going. I like that. So let's get down Monastery Mentor. And if we cast Chrome Mox, non-artifact, non-land card, that's going to be Ride Down. I think we still end up going Ride Down. I kind of like that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's get the crew swinging in on this one, because that will give us lifelink, I think. But yeah, let's go and get the crew swinging in, because that way we can still end up going Ride Down and getting an extra token. So we got the crew swinging in. That's going to be 5. That's going to be 9 coming across. So it's going to be a pretty good chunk of damage on this one. I like it. And we got the Iron Golem swinging in. All right, so opponent's going to take it on this one. That's still going to give us access to Ride Down. And I think what we'll end up doing at this point, we're just going to leave up Path to Exile. We could get a Monastery Monk token on the battlefield with Chrome Mox. And that is a May ability. I think we do that. I don't think we exile anything on this one, though. All right, so it's going to be Prowess. It's going to be Monastery Mentor. It's going to be 3/3. We get that Prowess token. Not going to exile anything out of the hand. And then anything else past the turn over to our opponent. So, but yeah, so we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that's going to apply my affiliate link. That's going to allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So if you do use that link to get some cards, hey, much obliged. I certainly appreciate that. Let's give a quick shout out to, oh goodness, I meant to do that at the beginning of our combat step. That's a bummer. All right, so they're going to get a free enchantment off of this. We'll see what this is going to be. I meant to do it at the beginning of combat before they swung in, going for Path to Exile. So we'll see what this enchantment is. A little bit of a commentary misplay, which does happen when you're doing a one-man band thing with these videos, playing and delivering commentary. Let's give a quick shot. That's going to be aura shards. Okay. So that is something we definitely want to get rid of, and that's going to be destroy target artifact. Actually, no, that's not that bad. I mean, I guess technically they could target our golems or something like that, but we can make that work. But yeah, shout out to MTGOTraders. Give a quick shout out to ingaming.com. If you want to support cool content like this, I did start a Patreon. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time, so let's have some fun. So let's see what this is going to be. They do have access to... I think they have access to all 5 colors. We'll see. They're going to go for the Bad River Crack. Let's see what land they get down. But at least with having Path to Exile, just having Azure the Enchanter unchecked, being able to swing in is not something that we want to happen. So we're going to end up going for Path to Exile on Azure at the end step. And we'll see what this is. If it's Garth, we might end up going for Garth because we still have the random effect from Radiant Scroll Wielder. So we can actually kind of double this one up, which I think sounds like a pretty good plan. All right, so it's going to have Aura Shard trigger, enter the battlefield, or it's going to be an Aura Shard trigger, and they're going to destroy Chrome Mox. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. You've got it on that one. Let's go Path to Exile on Garth. The only downside is about the Radiant is they're still going to get a couple extra lands out here, but as you can tell, we're going to be getting some good monk tokens going for next turn, especially with that upkeep trigger. So it's going to send Garth back to the command zone. Let's get that popped up. There we go. See that? And then at the beginning of our upkeep, we're going to have the Radiant Scroll Wielder trigger. Yeah. All right, so let's go Path to Exile on Zur the Enchanter, and we're going to pay 1... yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Let's go and always yield to these prowess triggers. Always yield to this Monastery Monk token trigger. Click OK. Yeah, with that Aura Shards, they're going to be able to target our golems, but at this point, we're sitting in a good spot, and especially with them having to tap down Birds of Paradise. So that's going to be Path to Exile. It's going to get out of the graveyard, draw into Tormenting Voice. So let's go for Tormenting Voice. It's going to be 1/2 because that's going to pump up all of our monks. Let's go and discard. I think at this point, we'll still discard Needle Spires, because going for Tormenting Voice next turn sounds like a great plan. So let's go ahead and get these Prowess triggers on the stack. Oh, yeah. Look at this. This is what it feels like to be PJ. I love it. All right, so we're going to click OK. And then that's going to be drawing 2 cards. And that's going to be the land drop for the turn. That's going to be Arid Mesa. And then next turn, we can go for Bell. I think that'll work out. So let's go and swing it with the crew. Right click, attack all. That's going to be 5. That's going to be 9. That's going to be 13. It's going to drop it down to 7. And then anything else, yeah, we're going to pass the turn over to our opponent. So with that Aura Shards, it's not that scary. And we've got a very good board state developed. The only thing that we're looking out for right now would be some sort of board wipe from our opponent. Damnation. I don't think they're into Cyclonic Rift Mana yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're not into Cyclonic Rift Mana yet. So if they don't have an answer, it looks like we will be in a pretty good spot. Because even if they do decide to block, we've got Ride Down for next turn. We've got Scroll... Radiant Scroll Wielder. Oh, they got River's Rebuke. They've got it. Okay, so let's go and crack Arid Mesa in response to that. Let's grab, we'll grab Plateau. And there's nothing we can do about that one. It's going to send everybody back to the hand. There's going to be a reset button on that. And then kick it back over to our turn. So that's going to be Wooded Foothills, which is very much nice to see. So let's go for Wooded Foothills. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do have access to 7 total mana. And if we want to rebuild the board state as quickly as possible, it's going to be Monastery Mentor with no... And all we have are creatures right now. So let's go for this. So let's get... I guess we definitely want to get down General... I think we just go General Fury and Monastery Mentor. If we want to set up a KO next turn, we could go for Bell. Because that will be... Actually, let's do that. Instead of going for General... Because we can set up General Fury, but then we've got a lot of stuff we've got to play into that. I kind of like setting up Bell. And then that allows us to tap down one more. Tap down 1. There we go. So let's get Bell down. It's not going to matter on this one. We're sitting at 35. So let's go and crack Wooded Foothills. Grab a snow-covered mountain. Let's get down General... Actually, we'll get down Monastery Mentor. Because that will be Prowess. There we go. And it helps if we do tap down for one more Y. There we go. All right, got the crew down. All right, so we get down Monastery Mentor, and then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So we still have Ride Down with Bell. Note the mana value of each card as it's put into exile. Bell's power is equal to the greatest number noted for it this turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. So we'll see if we get lucky with something with Bell. If we get getting a little bit higher power or toughness, that will definitely allow us to push past on Birds of Paradise, especially something like Ride Down and maybe some sort of prowess from Monastery Mentor. So we'll see if we get lucky off of Bell. And that's going to be a 3/5, which is a good thing to see. And, ooh, we got some really good stuff on this one. That's going to be Rip Apart. And I think we can still end up going Wear Tear for the turn. So we go General Fury, and then go Wear Tear, and that's going to get rid of Lithoform and Aura Shards. Yeah, I kind of like that. So let's go for General Fury. And then let's go for, because at this point we've got 5 coming across. And then that's going to be a Prowess trigger from Monastery Mentor. And that'll be 6. So that will not be just enough. Because, well, I guess technically we could have gone to Rip Apart and... Well, actually, we can still end up doing that instead of going for Wear Tear. All right, so let's go... Let's go Rip Apart. And we're going to get rid of Lithoform. Okay, yeah, I think I kind of like this a little bit better. So we go Lithoform. That's going to be Monastery Mentor. Let's get this exile popped over here. Yeah, I think I kind of like this. All right, so let's go Prowess. It's going to make it a 3/3. We're going to get that Golem token. We're going to destroy Lithoform. And that still gives us access to Ride Down if they decide to block. All right, so let's go and swing in Monastery and Bell. And let's just hope they go for the block to save a little bit of damage. All right, so let's go for Ride Down on Birds of Paradise. And I think we've got it on this one. There we go. Look at that. Because we're going to get that damage to assign either way. All right, so we're going to get the Prowess trigger, get that Monk token. We're going to get Ride Down. We're going to crush Birds of Paradise with the Ride Down. And there we go. Knock them down to 0. So we do get it on that one. So I'm glad we saw it at the last second with Ride Apart and Ride Down. Even if we go for Rip Apart on Birds of Paradise, so we don't get the Ride Down trigger. And there we go. Drop our opponent down to 0. So that was definitely a good game. And it was really good seeing the Boros action like that. You got to see what Monastery Mentor can do, what General Fury can do, and cashing in these tokens is a wonderful feeling. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.